approves 117 billion naira for road rehabilitation across the country. 2020 Finance Bill scales first and second reading at the Senate. And UN warns against modern slave trade as the world marks International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. Many thanks for joining us on News Now at this time. I am Uni Adekunle. The 2020 Finance Bill seeking to reduce import levy on buses, tractors and other vehicles has passed first and second readings at the Senate. The proposed law scaled both stages on Wednesday after lawmakers gave it a special consideration. Our correspondent Atinuke Nuke now reports.
A letter by President Muhammadu Buhari asking the National Assembly to pass the bill was only read on the floor of the House of Representatives and Senate on Tuesday. Normally, when a bill is read for the first time, a day is fixed to debate the general principles of the legislation, after which it will be passed for second reading.
Amend certain aspects of the Fiscal Responsibility Act to align this act with the 1999 Constitution as amended, as well as to enhance fiscal efficiencies by controlling the cost-to-revenue ratio of key state and government-owned enterprises. And 6, amend the Public Procurement Act to implement key procurement reforms previously proposed by the National Assembly in 2019, to extend the scope of the Act to the federal judiciary and legislature, accelerate procurement processes, increase mobilization fee thresholds, and provide for essential e-procurement reforms.
While leading his colleagues to debate the bill, Abdullahi said the legislation is seeking to provide fiscal relief for taxpayers by reducing the applicable minimum tax rate for 2 consecutive years of assessment.
You have what economists call people, a large number of Nigerians live within what the economists call autonomous consumption. Those are people who wake up in the morning and come to National Assembly hoping that they will walk into Senator Aliu and get 5 naira or 50,000 to go and eat. Mr. President, how do the tax system capture people who are living in this autonomous consumption?
The global economy is collapsing as a result of the pandemic. And one of the ways to stimulate back this economy is to outspend ourselves out of this global economic depression, which the entire world has found itself.
I think one other area that we must emphasize upon is in the area of property tax, Mr. President. There are properties in Nigeria. In Abuja here, you will see many houses completed 10 years ago. There's no nation where you see houses completed 5 years. No tenant, the people don't bother because they are stolen funds. These properties are scattered all over Nigeria. Properties build mansions, nobody owns them, nobody's paying them, no tenants. So I think, Mr. President, these are some of the areas that we must look at in order to recover some of the wealth of our people.
The question was then put to vote by Senate President Ahmed Lawan, and the bill was subsequently passed. The bill seeks to boost small and medium-scale enterprises by reducing tax burden on them. From Abuja, Atinuke Nuke, TV360 News.
And the Federal Executive Council, FEC, has approved the sum of 117 billion naira for the rehabilitation of some roads across the country. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, who briefed journalists at the end of the meeting, which was presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday, said his ministry presented 3 memorandums, 2 relating to roads and 1 relating to a banking application.
A total sum of 18 billion 923 million 846,198 naira and 47 kobo, and it is with respect to roads and bridges as follows: rehabilitation of 26 kilometers of Kano Kazaure Daura Meadua Road in Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina states, rehabilitation of Oye Oranto off Enugu Express Dunukofia in Anambra, Okpoku Bridge along Ogoja Okuku Ali Fopa Benue Road in Cross River, Kano State, rehabilitation and reconstruction of roads in Bichi, Kano State, 8.384 billion naira.
To security now, Nigeria's parliament has had a busy session as both chambers discussed the critical issue of insecurity across the country. While the Senate is asking for the replacement of service chiefs, the House of Representatives is calling for the president to explain the state of the nation's security to them. In this next report, Tunji Oye looks at the issues and the possibility of the president appearing before the lawmakers.
Tempers are high. Angers running deep across both chambers of the National Assembly. Lawmakers are not happy. For the lawmakers from Borno State, their annoyance is visible. The massacre of 43 farmers in Zabamari, Borno State, seems to be the boiling point of the whole issue.
This is a new tactic adopted by the Boko Haram because they developed a friendship pattern where they show signs that they are not touching the farmers when the farmers have already developed confidence up to the level that they are sleeping in their parks. But over the night, they invited in one way or the other, tactically slaughtered them because of the swampy nature of the axis.
You pay people and they don't have the arms, they don't have the ammunition. I can tell you authoritatively that up to now, people in the war front are sharing ammunition.
And after these latest incidents, the Senate is again calling for the heads of the service chiefs.
The Senate shall further observe that whatever it is that the security chiefs are doing presently is not working, or at least not enough. And if the President insists that the security chiefs are doing their work well, then the logical implication of such assumption is that the President, as the constitutional commander-in-chief of the country, has failed in his most rudimentary assignment of securing this nation.
For the more youthful House of Representatives, only the appearance of the president in the green chambers will assuage their anger on the matter.
Sir, my amendment is that Mr. President should be invited to come and explain the security situation in the country, especially in the Northeast.
But to analysts, getting the president to stand before the parliament is like an attempt to squeeze water out of the rock.
As a result of the arrogance of presidents from 1999, I want to believe that President Muhammadu Buhari will not honor the invitation. Indeed, the invitation itself has lost its potency because the invitation has not come with a date for the president to come.
I don't think the president needed the Senate or the House of Rep to spur him to come stand before them to now ask him what is he doing to quell the insecurity. I don't think also consistently retaining the service chiefs will do the president any good, because it's like a football team. You cannot be losing matches with the same team members and then you refuse to make substitution.
For now, the president is here to respond to any of the demands. Will the service chiefs be sacrificed for the security of the nation, or will the president appear before the lawmakers to explain the deteriorating security situation in the country? Only time will tell. From Lagos, Tunji Oye, TV360 News.
Meanwhile, contrary to the prediction of many analysts, President Muhammadu Buhari has received the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, at the State House in Abuja to fix a date for his appearance before the Parliament. The Speaker, who visited the President in the company of principal officers of the House, disclosed this to State House correspondents after meeting the President on Wednesday.
What we basically sought was to convey the resolution of the House and to fix a date, which we did not fix, out of respect for Mr. President and his very, very tight schedule. What date will be convenient, and we have agreed on a date, and he will meet with the House to address the situation. I think he's more concerned than me or you. That's all I can say. than me or you. You know, they say on easy lies the head that wears the crown. And we'll leave everything until when he comes to the House. Let me not preempt him. But all I can tell you right now, the DS is here, the leader is here to bear me witness. He's committed, fully committed to the security of the welfare, lives and property of the Nigerians.
Nigerian youths have been urged to push for the ratification of the Geneva Convention for Decent Work, which was adopted by the country. The chairperson, National Women Commission, Mercy Okwezie, made the call during the second Nigeria Labour Congress Youth Conference in Abuja. Okwezie was speaking against the backdrop of the high level of violence and harassment in the world of work, which has stifled productivity and development. She says it's high time the young people of Nigeria made the most of their vibrancy and energy to correct every wrong associated with indecency at workplaces.
If you reject this all-important convention, the workplace will be so difficult, so frustrating. We experienced it, we don't want you to experience it. So, in your energy, the energy you have, in your technological prowess, go ahead, search for this convention, ask questions, take it to heart, so that when you are harassed, you can identify it. When you are harassed, you will know it. When your neighbor in the workplace is harassed, you can know it.
The world has seen the strength, the organization, the power of the youth of this great nation. If they move together and they move forward together, there's not a lot of forces that can stop them. And it is, I think, our own conviction that only the youth of the world and the youth of any other nation can make any progress in the society, be it the society at large or be it the union in the small place.
Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa with the highest economic potential due to the size of its domestic market as well as its human and natural resources. I therefore call on all young workers gathered here today to join the struggle of the labor movement, to embrace the change, encourage one another, and to speak up when the need arises on what we can do and what can be done locally and internationally.
December 2nd is set aside every year by the United Nations to commemorate the International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. This year, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the global protest against systemic racism brought renewed attention to a legacy of injustices all over the world whose roots lie in the dark history of colonialism and slavery. The UN scribe said slavery is not simply a matter of history, but what is still practiced today under a different guise. Guterres said globally, more than 40 million people are still victims of contemporary slavery, including about 25 million in forced labor and about 15 million in forced marriage, according to UN estimates. Also, 1 in 4 victims are children, and women and girls account for 71% of the victims. Now, the UN Secretary General may actually be right with the statement that slavery is being practiced in the world today in different style, and this underscores the scourge of irregular migration that is rampant among many Nigerians, among many Nigerian youths in search of greener pastures. But how real or bad is the situation? I'm now being joined via Skype by Osita Osemene, the Executive Director of Patriotic Citizen Initiatives, to shed more light on this. Osita, thank you very much for joining us on the news. Now, slave trade, as we used to know it, has been abolished for decades. But in recent years, we've seen an evolution of this illicit act. What is the situation like in Nigeria? And would you say that slavery has returned fully to Africa in another form?
Yeah, thank you very much, Boyi. First of all, I want to appreciate United Nations General Assembly for coming up with that initiative. December 2nd, I think this started in 1986, and to date, we have been experiencing every form of modern-day slavery. Modern-day slavery is a form of a kind of an umbrella that harbors other components of all form of exploitation and deprivation among humans. You know, since 1986, 2002, when they came together to say that, we have been seeing series of violations against human rights in the form of child labor, sex trafficking, forced migration, and all sorts of violations against humanity. Now, like you mentioned, over 40 million children have been, over 40 million people have become victims of modern worldwide, and over 150 million children are subjected to child labor. Then you look at areas of smuggling of migrants that has to do with irregular migration. Looking at the tension all over the world now, and especially within our African and West African countries, where young men and young girls are being deceived now and being smuggled across the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea, all in the name of the search of greener pasture. And it has been intense for over 20 years now. That is 2 decades.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you here, Osita, but let me just ask you this question now. We know that the essence of this day is to raise awareness. So what would you say are the red flags to look out for so as not to fall prey to this modern slavery we're talking about?
Yes, the idea of the grass being greener over somehow is a sort of deception. You know, a lot of youths now and a lot of young girls are being promised better life over there. So some of these things are a sort of red flag. By the time people begin to promise you that it's easier, they will assist you to get visa, they will help you to get jobs in Spain, in Lebanon, in Oman, in different countries. You know, presently we are receiving different people, different young girls and young boys from different countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Oman, Lebanon. A lot of them that were stranded over there, they were deceived, all in the name of getting a job, a good job over there. And when they get there, they subject them into slavery. They subject them into using them for sex slavery. You know, they subject them into using them for domestic service. You know, some of these things are red flags. So by the time you are promised that you are going to get a better life over there, you need further information. You need to make more and further inquiries to find out if this is right. If it is not right, then you make the right decision. But most times, our young generation...
I'm afraid, Osita, I'll have to let you go here. I'm afraid we're pressed for time. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on News Now. Thank you very much, Osita Osemene, the Executive Director of Patriotic Citizen Initiative there. Well, let's take a short break here, but still to come. Interpol warns member countries against fake COVID-19 vaccine. Details after this break.
Corruption not in my country. That was a very good business. Yeah. The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
It is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
I get that.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
you will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people. Make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Glad to have you back. Here is a quick reminder of some of our top stories tonight. The 2020 Finance Bill seeking to reduce import levy on buses, tractors and other vehicles has passed first and second readings at the Senate. The speedy passage of the bill is sequel to a letter by President Muhammadu Buhari asking the National Assembly to give the bill accelerated hearing to help the economic recovery plans of the government. We also told you that in commemoration of the 2020 International Day for the Abolition of Slavery, the United Nations has warned member states against condoning modern slavery. According to UN estimates, more than 40 million people in the world are still victims of contemporary slavery, including about 25 million in forced labor and about 15 million in forced marriage. Welcome back. The International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, has raised concerns over the rise in the activities of criminal gangs advertising and selling fake COVID-19 vaccines, especially online. In a statement released on Wednesday, Interpol Secretary General Jürgen Stork issued a warning to its 194 member countries, including Nigeria, about threats from organized crime groups during upcoming COVID-19 vaccination campaigns, including fake vaccines and the theft of supplies. According to Stork, as governments are preparing to roll out vaccines, criminal organizations are planning to infiltrate or disrupt supply chains, with 3,000 websites associated with online pharmacies suspected of selling fake medicines and medical devices. The Interpol boss therefore stressed the need for coordination between law enforcement and health regulatory bodies to ensure the safety of individuals and well-being of communities are protected. But we'll take a break here and return with business updates. Don't go away. Welcome back. For business news now, we have Jerusha Amarego standing by. Now, Jerusha, I understand the Naira appears to be gaining some ground again. Tell us more about that.
The Naira has reversed its two-week loss to dollar in the parallel market, appreciating by 20 Naira to 470 Naira per dollar. The new rules introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria allowed beneficiaries of the diaspora remittances and foreign exchange transfers with domiciliary accounts to collect the proceeds in foreign currency cashes, halting the dwindling fortunes of the Naira. President, Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, Aminu Gwadabe, said the sharp appreciation of the Naira shows the effectiveness of the new CBN rule receipt of the diaspora remittances. That's what we have on business news. Now over to Stork after the short break. Welcome back to Stock. Activities on the floor of the Nigerian stock market ended bearish. The close of trading as all-share index recorded 0.26% decline, which saw market capitalization close at 42 million naira loss. At the close of trading, 22 equities recorded losses against 19 gainers. Now looking on to our top losers, we see that CAP PLC Guarantee Trust Bank still on our losses. We also see Nigerian Flour Mill PLC as our top four equities with the most losses of the combined 7 Naira 32 kobo loss. Now we take a look at our gains for today. We see that the gainers, most gains are Stanbic Bank with a 1 Naira gain. United Bank of Africa also has its gains of 45 kobo. We also see Cortex and Maybaker closing at a combined 13 kobo gain. Now we take a look at the market summary today, which has 368 million shares worth 5.4 billion naira exchanged hands in 4,598 deals. Moving on to our global market, we see that FTSE recorded a 1.14% gain. Dow Jones followed, on the other hand, slipping into quite a loss today as investors hit pause after Tuesday's strong December start. Even the United Kingdom approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccines. The market witnessed a downturn in 0.11% loss. Japanese stock Nikkei recorded a 0.050% gain, even as the record number of coronavirus overwhelms the country, as government has said it will cover the cost of COVID vaccines for over 126 million residents. That's all we have on the stock market review. It's back to you, Ongi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much for that update, Jerusha. It's now time for entertainment report and weather outlook on News Now.
These are certainly good times for self-acclaimed African giant Burna Boy. The two-time Grammy Award nominee's latest 15-track album, Twice as Nice, has secured the #1 spot as the most streamed Nigerian album on Spotify in 2020, with over 64 million streams to its credit. The body of work has American rapper and business mogul Sean Diddy, as well as Bose Ogulu, Burna Boy's mom, as its executive producers. In second place is Wizkid's Made in Lagos, while coming third is Tiwa Savage's Salia. Popular Nigerian blogger Linda Ikeji has revealed that she still needs a husband. The single mom disclosed this via her Instagram page while showing off two of her latest machines on wheel, a 2020 Range Rover and Bentley. At the end of the caption, Linda wrote, "Self-made, strong, independent, but still looking for a husband." The blogger was once in a romantic relationship with businessman Sholaye Jeremy. According to her, their once made in heaven relationship took a nosedive the moment she informed Jeremy that she was pregnant. Well, good luck to Linda on her search.
Well, that's all we have for you on News Now at this time. Thank you very much for watching. I am Oyi Adekunle. Bye for now.